Now, one of my favourite lures that I've been using this summer is this. It's the Delalande Shadka 2, and I've caught a lot of bass on these this summer. I've tried various other lures in certain situations and not had a lot of success, but these things absolutely slayed the bass for me this summer, as you know.
Yeah.
I've had loads of fish that's sort of just under £8 on them. There's two different types of lures out in the Delalande range, and there's more on the way, isn't there?
Absolutely, yeah. They're bringing a new catalogue out next week, and the samples are on their way. They wouldn't show me pictures yet, but they've assured me there's 2 new sea lures coming out that are along the same lines.
And they are specifically designed for sea fishing and bass in particular as well. I mean, the Swat Shad here, I'll just grab one of these out of the packet. This one's basically designed as a weedless setup. You get 2 bodies in the pack. You get the jig head, which is articulated with the hook there, and it's designed to be completely weedless, so that you can cast that into a kelp, you can cast it, bounce it off rocks, whatever you want to do with it. Basically, as soon as a fish grabs it, pushes down, that hook pops up like that, and it's hooked. But while you're fishing it, there's nothing there to get caught on anything basically. Which is a real good setup. I mean, I haven't fished with this much this summer, just simply for the fact that I've had so many fish on this particular lure, on the Shadka 2. It's a fixed jig head with an exposed hook, but man, has that slayed them for me this year. And I've fished it in every type of situation imaginable. You know, fishing with Sean Heath on Great White down on the south coast out of Hayling, fishing his usual bass marks, which is sort of rough ground, if you like. We had a day when we weren't really catching very much on any lure that we were using, so I stuck one of these on and I was literally just bouncing it across the bottom. You know, didn't lose any because the hooks, I mean, they're rigged and weighted to sit like that when you tie them onto your line, so your hook's above any snags that you're going to hit. But I was literally just bouncing that within about 8 inches of the bottom, and it was bass after bass after bass. And then I was over in Ireland, and we were drifting across a big hump. I tried various lures without very much success. I put one of those on with, I think it was that colour body, the black colour body, and I was just casting it across tide, and I wasn't even working it. I was casting it across the tide, just letting the tide bring it round, and obviously with the bow and the line and the movement of the boat was enough to make it work, and I was getting hit on the drop every single chuck.
You can try too hard with a lure, can't you?
You can, yeah, and then 9 times out of 10 you don't really have to impart that much action into them, especially when they're really soft, as you can see me wiggling that about there. The slightest bit of tide that you've got running across along that body is going to work that tail.
Yeah.
You know.
What's it? The Norwegian guys say that the best halibut angler is the guy with the worst hangover.
Yeah. That's it.
Slouched over the side of the boat, just holding
those
the rod.
guys. I mean, I've seen so many of the German guys that they fish for their halibut, and they fish 3 different depths basically, and they just sit there.
Yeah.
You know, just drift along and just use the angle of the dangle, the drift of the tide to work the lure for them. But yeah, if you've not seen these yet, I mean, I've reviewed them in the magazine, and there's videos on YouTube of us using them and catching fish on them as well. But yeah, the Shadka 2, one of my favourite lures without doubt for 2013 and then beyond. You know, it's one of them lures that I'm always going to have in my box, and you know, because they work. But the Swat Shad, if you like getting up close and personal into the rough stuff and into the weed stuff, have a look at these because they really do work. Like I say, weedless hook setups nowadays are becoming more and more popular, especially with shore anglers.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a place for them on the boat. But yeah, have a look out for these, the Delalande Shadka 2 and Swat Shad, and you are going to catch bass in them.